Hey guys, what's up? It's Jeff from Wunderdog Sports. Well, for 26 years, Nevada has had a monopoly on sports betting in the United States. No more. In the US, Prohibition 1 did not work, and now Prohibition 2 has officially failed. On Monday, the 1992 federal law banning sports betting, PASPA, was struck down by the Supreme Court by a 7-2 vote. The Supreme Court said that PASPA violated the anti-commandeering rule, which basically tells the federal government to get the hell out of state business. Just as Congress lacks the power to order a state legislature not to enact a law authorizing sports gambling, it may not order a state legislature to refrain from enacting a law licensing sports gambling, wrote Justice Samuel Alito in the decision. The leagues were initially all against this, but the NBA and MLB got behind it in recent months. They're happy. The NFL, NHL, and NCAA haven't been so much in favor. Sorry, fellas, you lose. So how did we get here? This all started back nearly a decade ago with New Jersey Senator Raymond Lesniak filing a federal lawsuit to overturn PASPA. Governor Chris Christie joined into the fray in 2012, and New Jersey has been battling the federal government and the leagues ever since. So what questions do we have here? What's happening? Each state now must decide what to do. What will your state do? First of all, your state should thank New Jersey. They busted their ass to make this happen. Second, what they need to do is get a law on the books ASAP, or at least before football season. New Jersey residents will be able to bet on the NBA Finals in all likelihood, as they're ready to go. 20 states in all have introduced some sort of legislation. New Jersey has passed it and is ready to go. Mississippi, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New York, and Delaware are all close. Another big question here is, what are the leagues going to do to get their piece? All the leagues are going to jump on board now and be sure to try to get some money out of this. They've floated this idea of an integrity fee as much as 1%. Integrity fee, what does that mean? Basically, it's their way to get their piece. So they need to get their piece. Obviously, the states need to get their piece. They want tax revenue out of this. So what are they going to do to get their cut? All of this begs a big question. How is this going to work? And specifically, how will the VIG change? The VIG is the profit that the sports books make. As you know, right now, if you're into sports betting, when you place a bet, you've got to risk $110 on average to win $100. And that extra $10 is the sports book's profit. Is there going to be a way here for everyone to get their piece? And is that going to push that VIG higher? Right now, Nevada takes only 0.25% tax. Other states are looking to try to get more, but it's going to be hard to do without raising that VIG. This is going to be the big question, because without raising that VIG and making it more expensive to place bets, it's going to be hard to give the leagues and the states their cut. But if they do raise the VIG and it gets more expensive, that's going to be really hard for bettors. Most bettors lose now at that minus 110 VIG. If that has to go up, it's going to be really hard for bettors to win. There may be a low-cost option somewhere, and that's, let me get into that as I talk about winners and losers in this whole thing. There's really only one primary loser in this right now, as far as I can see. This is bad for the offshore sports books. The bookies taking bets right now, and I guess you could include illegal corner bookies in this, although those have, for the most part, gone by the wayside in most places. But they were getting all the action from United States bettors, and this is going to give United States bettors a different legal option here in the United States. But if the VIG goes up for sports betting, in order to give the states and the leagues their cut, the offshore sportsbooks may still have a place in the market as the low-cost option. This is good for the American people, great for the American people. Let consenting adults do what they want. It has been ridiculous that sports betting has been illegal. This gives them now, eventually, more choice in where they can bet, making it easier to bet on sports and do something recreational, access to better betting options legally than what they have now. Right now, Americans can go bet on the lottery, but that's a 50% house cut versus 5 to 10% for sports betting. So this is going to give Americans a chance to express their gambling desires, which a lot of Americans have, in a way that's much better financially for them than the options they've had in the past. Gambling has been legal in the US, in the UK for ages. It has also been legal in the US for ages in different forms. What do you think the stock market is? Legalized gambling. Lotteries, I mentioned. Casinos right now. You can go to a casino in any state. And so why has sports betting been singled out as something illegal? Didn't make sense. Done. As I said, this is long overdue. This has worked in the UK for decades. We can learn a lot about how they do it and apply those practices. It is good for the states and local economies. This has been going on forever, and all that money's been going offshore, hasn't been taxed, hasn't been regulated. Now, states are going to be able to get some tax revenue from this. Despite what Roger Goodell would tell you, this is great for the leagues. The NFL in particular has been so dishonest, really, with their stance on sports betting. Why do you think the NFL is so popular? Sports betting. Who wants to watch some of these really, really bad games that actually get a lot of viewership? Sports bettors. What do sports bettors do? They're much more engaged in the sports they watch. They watch longer, they watch more advertising revenue. This is going to lead to a lot more engagement, more viewership, and more interest in their games. Think about late game blowouts. Who gives a crap in a game between the Patriots and the Browns in which the Pats are up 21 points in the fourth quarter? Well, people who bet the over-under, people who took the Browns plus 15 in that game. This is going to generate more interest for the sports leagues and more revenue for the sports leagues. This is also good for the integrity of the game. Unlike what some opponents of this have claimed, in which the integrity of the game is at risk if people can bet on it. Well, guess what? People were betting already. This is actually going to bring more attention and more focus to the games and to any betting action. And sports books can be the ones that are bringing to the attention of leagues and law enforcement if anything looks funny. So this will actually increase the integrity of the game, not decrease it. It's good for Nevada even. Their monopoly's gone, but this is more interest overall. It's going to cause more people to bet on sports when they're there and be more interested in sports betting. It's not really that impactful. This is a big one for people, but what about people with gambling addiction? This is going to give them access to another vice. Newsflash, they had access to this anyway. I don't think this is going to be that impactful for people with a gambling addiction. First of all, it's a very tiny percentage. They can access it right now if they want to without regulations and monitoring and safeguards. And in terms of betting in the US now through legal means, there's going to be more safeguards in place. There's going to be more protections for people that have a propensity towards gambling addiction. And the reality is any vice will have a small percentage of the population that abuses it. This includes gambling, alcohol, drugs, and even sex. And we don't outlaw all these things. We need to be compassionate to the people who have an issue and provide safeguards and protections while allowing the vast majority of people who can responsibly enjoy them to do just that. In the end, it is a great day for sports betting in America. I am super pumped and excited. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for continued coverage of legalization of sports betting as things progress, updates on what's happening with the states, and when you'll be able to place legal bets in your state, and for help in your sports betting journey. Head over to my site, Wunderdog.com, to get my free picks sent to you via email daily. And as always, good luck to you.